Okay, everyone. So welcome everyone to this session on LangGraph. So as I mentioned, in this session, we are going to walk through what is LangGraph, that how to create an agent through LangGraph, right? Or we'll do a small project in the class. But main objective of this video, this session is to understand how does LangGraph work, because there are a lot of technical things in LangGraph which initially they are difficult for any beginner to understand. I just want to know how many of you know about LangGraph. Can you put in chat box if you have ever worked with LangGraph or whatever you want to say, anything? Okay. Okay, don't worry. I will try to explain in a layman perspective only. But let me tell you beforehand that this is the most important agentic framework that you will need, because in companies, and as I told you, I have experience in working on real-time projects in companies. So there, every company or most of the companies are shifting on LangGraph because it is more scalable, and you want to build projects which can go live into production, right, rather than simply creating toy projects and sharing on LinkedIn or here anywhere, right? Those are good to share videos or maybe demo projects, but when you talk about whether thing, if you remember, I took a session on a couple of weeks back. I took a session on this system design, right? How to create a like scalable systems, right? So LangGraph actually complies with that. LangGraph gives all those options to create a lot of like cache memory networks and everything, which others don't do. Okay, but don't worry, we will start LangGraph with extreme basics. But before I start LangGraph, let us understand one thing, that how does an AI project work so far? For example, that So I'm going to take example of a very common project which I usually do, is that suppose you have to create a project where user will enter any natural language and you will convert it into SQL query, and you will basically give the result. So basically it's a system where user can chat with the database without writing SQL query. He can simply type a natural language and he can get the answer. So if you remember what all we do in such a system, we have discussed this earlier. If someone can tell, put in chat box, or what is the what are the major steps in this particular project? Anyone? Okay, it's fine. So what do we do is that in such a project, what happens? User will send me a question. For example, how many, let's say how many transactions happen today. Okay, right? So user will send me a natural language question. How many transaction happen today? Okay. What do we do from this? That if you guys recall, the first step is take the take the user question, okay, and what do you do in a prompt? You pass. So what do? You create a prompt, okay, and through RAG or some other method, you pass your schema of the model, right? Schema of your database, and this basically generates a SQL query, if you recall. If you don't understand, it's fine, don't worry. Then you pass this SQL query to a database, and so suppose this is a SQL DB, and you execute it and you give the result, right? So far, what do you see? There are two tasks in my project. Task one is converting a natural language into SQL query, and task two is executing a SQL query, right? And all this will be basically hidden from a user. User won't be able to see this. User will only see that, okay, you have these many things, right? And user will only see that, okay, user asked a question and he got an answer. Now my question is that, so we are assuming that That SQL query will come, it will execute on database, and I will get the result. Tell me, what if the SQL query that is generated is incorrect? What will happen here?
We'll get the wrong result.
You'll get the wrong result, right? And if you will get the wrong result, what will happen here in the database execution part?
Wrong data will be fetched.
You'll get, basically error will come, right? Now think like this: you have gone to an application which says you have paid a subscription for it, okay? And whenever you type your question, it does not give you answer. Will you ever, like, it will be a bad experience for you, correct? Yes or
Right.
no? Right? And eventually you will not pay subscription. You will say, okay, no, this website is useless, they just have something, created some random thing, okay? So now what is the point here? If you see this particular system which is there, it is called a linear system. That what happens, that you got something, you got a question from here, okay? It moves to a task 1, it moves to a task 2, okay? And then it gives the answer. Now, if you see, this is a linear flow. You do this, do this. There is no, I'll say, feedback loop. For example, that what if T1 fails? What if T2 fails? Is your system self-sustaining, that it can recover from error by itself rather than error getting to you? When we say that we have to create an AI framework, when we have to create a system which is AI, artificially enabled, what does it mean? What do you think?
It should intelligently detect whatever is wrong and correct itself, and only then produce results after re-executing.
Exactly. So a system which can, if everything is working fine, that is fine, right? But an AI system, when we call something as AI, we say that, okay, we don't have to do anything. It will automatically find its error, fix it, solve it, but give the result, right? So I don't know, I don't care what happens inside this, but it should automatically resolve, correct?
Yeah.
So ideally, what should be happening here? There should be another task which checks if an error is there, then regenerate the SQL query rather than passing it to answer user, correct? Something like that. Maybe fix something, regenerate SQL query and retest it. Keep on testing till you generate the right query instead of going to the user, correct?
Yeah.
Any question?
So in this, Satvik, in this self-healing feedback loop, right? So are we using any LLM kind of thing for as a
We will use LLM. I'll show you how we are going to do. I'll show you. But right now, just understand that we need to introduce a concept of self-healing here, right? Something which can, if an error comes, I have to pass it here. If everything is correct, I have to go here, correct?
right?
So there needs to be a branching option, that based on the output of any particular task, I can basically branch myself. Now, this option does not exist in LangChain, or even if you say Crew AI or most of the frameworks, they cannot self-sustain. If an error comes, everything will go back. And this is where LangGraph comes, that it gives you an option of branching, routing, self-healing, and all those things. We will see through a simple project how it is done. But right now, I'm just telling why LangGraph is required. Okay. So LangGraph is required when you have to introduce branching into your system, when you have to introduce self-healing concepts in your systems. Okay. All good so far, and everyone? We'll cover this in more detail, how it is going to work, but just an introduction right now. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is the LangGraph website. If you see, now there are a lot of concepts in this. If you come here, you will see in the left side lot of things, and unless you understand the concept, it's little bit difficult to understand initially, because I mean, a lot of things are there, to be honest, memory and all that, but we will see. So let's begin with understand. Yeah, please. You asked a question. Okay. Okay, let's start the presentation now. Okay, so what is going to happen with LangGraph? And guys, please try to focus a lot in first 30 minutes or 40 minutes. After that, even if you don't pay full attention, it's fine. Understanding the concept is more important. Coding and all that you will understand, not a big deal. Okay, but please for first 30-40 minutes pay your full attention. Okay, so this kind of structure we basically create. Again, I will talk about what is. So there are a few terminologies which we'll be using in LangGraph. We'll use a word called as state, node, and edge, and we will use conditional edge and all those things. Okay, but and this is how a basic LangGraph project looks like, that it will come here, then go, then branch it, then branch, and through that you can. So like LangGraph is a more soft, what it does is basically makes your agentic applications totally software based. It works on the concept of flow engineering, which we will study. So see another LangGraph project where you have multiple agents working, and they are collaborating with each, right? But forget all this. Let's try to understand a very basic example. It has nothing to do with LangGraph and all that. Now through this example, I'm trying to explain you how does LangGraph work. Okay, so please focus on this example a lot. Now suppose you are going for a trip. Okay, so suppose you are in India, let's say Delhi right now, and you go to London from there. And from London, so let's say initially you have some budget. So you have some budget of, example, let's say wait a second. Yeah, so suppose you have a budget of initially X rupees, right? And while going to London, you will go to London, you'll explore London, you'll roam in Delhi, whatever you'll do, you will spend some money. And at London, you have to decide, if you have some money, if you have sufficient money left, you will go to New York. Otherwise, you will come back to Mumbai and your country, right? So we have to plan a trip of a person like this. Okay. So let's see how it is going to be. So the plan. So there is I have randomly named this person 𝗪𝗴. Okay. So 𝗪𝗴 is going on a 3-city world trip. What he is going to do? He's going to start from Delhi, and at his house in Delhi, and he will start from his house in Delhi, go to London. He will spend some time in London, he'll roam here, there. And then if at London his budget, the money that is left with him, let's say if it is greater than 2 lakhs, he will go to New York. And if his budget is less than 2 lakhs, he will come back to Mumbai. So this is what we have to create. This is the whole travel uh, uh, plan that we have to create for the person. Okay, everyone good so far? Any doubt in this? Okay, so now what 𝗪𝗴 does, now thing is that uh, 𝗪𝗴 keeps a track record of his travel in a personal diary. So what he is doing, he tracks his trip in a special diary with himself. Okay, in that diary. And why does he keep his diary? So that he can track his expenses at various places. We also do that, right? Like suppose over every day where we are spending, we take a note of everything, right? So what he's going to do, he's going to note down uh, at every place how much he's spending. Keep a note what he did at what place. For example, let us say he went to a place, he might take a selfie at some place, he might spend some money, he might be feeling happy, right? So at every place he will, at an end of every day, he will keep a diary. He'll write a page that, okay, today I did this, today I did that, and today I am feeling like this, for example, right? He will do this. And why will he do this? Can you tell me that why will he keep things in a diary about his trip? What can be the potential reason?
To keep a close eye on his budgets.
To keep a close eye on his budgets. Okay, anything else?
To plan whether he can afford the trip to finally
Yes,
afford a trip to London, or he
New
has to
York.
go back to Mumbai.
Yes, right, that is also true. Later on, even after trip is over, suppose he wants to analyze, let's say during the trip he didn't check much, Later on, when once trip gets over, he wants to break it down that, okay, at what place did I spend how much, at what place did I do what, right? Suppose he has to get some insight. It's like creating a data of his own trip, right? Suppose like you guys also, we when we do data analytics, right, we have a data of different timelines, everything, right? So that we can see what at what time what happened, in which month I spent more, in which month I spent less, right? All those things we do, correct? So that is why it will track all this information in a special diary. All good, everyone? Any doubt on this point? Okay, so now he's at, right now this person is at his house. Okay, this is your day 0 or step 1. He's sitting at his house, maybe he wants to book his cab or whatever. Okay, he is very much excited to start his trip. So right now let's see what his diary will look like. So this is how his diary will look like right now. His page 1, current location is his home in Delhi. Did he spend any money till now?
No.
No.
He's excited because of course he's starting the trip. Did he visit any place so far? So what will we do throughout the steps, whichever places he has visited, he will keep on adding. Let's say he visited place A, then B, he will keep on adding in this list. Okay, and if he takes any photo, he will keep storing those photos as well in his mobile. And let us say he's starting with a budget of 5 lakh rupees initially. So this is how his page 1 of the diary will look like. Clear, everyone?
Yeah.
Okay, now what will he do? Step 2, he will go from his house to Delhi. Suppose he reached to Delhi airport. So once he reached to Delhi airport, what will he do? He made these things. First of all, he will update his location to IGI airport. If you see here, its location was home in Delhi. His location will change, right? What it means that at house he had a different. So this is called a state, basically, that at house this diary, these values in diary were something else. But once he reaches at airport, he made few changes. He updates his location, he takes a selfie S1, and suppose he spent 50,000 rupees. Okay, so he did all this. So what is he going to do next? He's going to update his diary, or maybe he's going to create a new page in his diary. So his new page in diary will look like this. Second, this is page number 2. So forget about state, call it page 2. State and page mean same, but right now call it page 2. So he'll say current location as Delhi. Expenses, how much did he spend here? 50,000 rupees. What was his mood? Excited. And what all places did he visit so far? IGI airport only. Right now only one place. And photos, he will click, he's clicked one picture, and now his budget is reduced by 50,000. Okay, so at the end of second page, this is how his status is looking like. So this is his page 1 of his diary, and this is his page 2 of the diary. Clear? Now what will he do? He'll move next. Okay, now he'll fly to London. So from Delhi he'll fly to London, and what will happen? His location will change to London. Let's say he spent 1 lakh rupees. I don't know why, but let's say he spent 1 lakh rupees. He takes a selfie S2, and now he's feeling tired because maybe he traveled a lot, right? So it's a big flight, so he would have tired. So now what will he do? He will update his diary once again at end of this step. So this is how his page 3 of his diary look like. That his current location is London airport. He spent, I think this is wrong, whatever. Let's say he spent 1 lakh rupees. So let's change it to 1 lakh. Okay. He's tired now. His mood is tired, and he visited IGI airport first, and then he visited London airport. So these 2 places he has visited through this list. So at page 3, he can see which all places he has visited so far. Agreed?
Yes.
And photos also, he has 2 photos, and his budget is now 3,50,000. Okay. So if we compare, this is my state 1, when he was at home, expenses 0, budget 5,000, nothing here. State 2 looks like this. State 3 looks like this. Okay. Now in London, he wants to explore London. So what he does that, okay, he goes to Big Ben in London. He adds some expense and something he does. And let's say his state further he updates his status. So he sees that now in state 4, this is my current location. This much I spent. This much I'm little tired now. These all places I have visited so far. This is my selfies and this much budget I have left. Okay. So this is so far all good. Now let's move to the next part. Now we are coming to the important part now. Now at this point, after London, once he has visited, is like done with London, he has to check his budget. If his budget is less than 2 lakh rupees, what will he do?
Fly back to Mumbai.
He'll go fly back to Mumbai. And if his budget is greater than 2 lakhs, he'll travel to New York.
Yeah.
So right now, although it's 150,000, but I'm assuming, let's say, so there are 2 options from London. He can either go to New York or he can go to Mumbai. Okay. So now, okay. So let's say first scenario that because we see that his budget was like, let's say 150,000. So what will happen? That okay, he will fly. He will go to Mumbai, and let's say he goes to Gateway of India, spend 50,000, and now he's sad because he couldn't go to New York, for example. Let us say, right? So this is his potential state 5-1. That one potential state could be this, or another potential state could be that suppose he would have traveled to New York, so he would have spent more money, and this is how his state would have looked like. Okay. So far, if you see, we have captured 4 full states, and for the 5th state, we have 2 possible versions, either of the London or either of the New York or of the Mumbai. Correct?
Yep. So, but if he traveled to New York, it should be like Big Ben, comma New York, right? Mumbai will not be there.
Yeah, sorry. I mean, yeah, Mumbai will not be there. My bad. Okay. So this, Big Ben and New York. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you see, these are the 6 states. Now, again, these are 2. It can either have this or this. These both cannot exist parallel, like simultaneously, but one of these will exist. If you see, he can basically check all the pages of his diary. This is page 1. This is page 2. This is page 3. This is page 4. This is page. One of this will be page 5. Right?
Right.
So through this, he will be able to analyze. He can see, okay, I spent 50,000 at Delhi. I spent 50,000 at, actually it was 1 lakh rupees. I spent 1 lakh here. I spent 2 lakhs. So maybe I spent a lot here. And at what? Yeah. So he can analyze a lot of things. Okay, how was my mood when I was here? Which all places did I visit till I was in London, right? He can see this list. Which all selfies did I take when I was here? He can see all this, right? So if you see this through, after every task that he did, he took a snapshot of whatever work has been done, and he has an access to each of the snapshot. Through each of the snapshot, he can basically see what happened where, and from where, like he can analyze a lot of things. Now, this is the whole concept of LangGraph. Okay. So if you see, this is what happened in the trip. The person started here. It went to IGI airport, went to London, then went to Big Ben. From there, he had option of either NYC or Mumbai, and then he could exit. Okay. I'm just converting same thing to LangGraph terminology now. Okay. Exact same thing, same image. I'll change the words, names, or whatever you see here, but just see, this picture is clear in your mind, right? That at every step, something is happening, right? Now, this is what a LangGraph does. In LangGraph, you see whatever task that you have seen, these are called nodes. Okay. So nodes are nothing, but they are in backend. They are just Python functions or anything that you do. For example, you generated a SQL query. That is your node 1. You executed a SQL query. It is a node 2. Maybe you generated a text. That is node 3. Something like this. Okay. So you will have a starting node and an exit node, which will come from by default from LangGraph. and you will move from node 1, then node 2, then node 3, and after that, whether you have to go to node 4 or node 5 depends upon your condition. Okay. So if you see, there are two types of dashes there. One is which sure shot says that you will go in this direction. You're saying that I'm going from A to B. Okay. Sure shot. So this is called edge. Okay. And this is where you have a condition that I can go to this place as well, I can go to this place as well. This is called a conditional edge. So you will hear these words very frequently. The whole LangGraph is based on this. One is called state, second is called node, third is called edge, and fourth is called conditional edge. So can you guys just think in mind once that what could state mean? Is it clear to you? Take time and ask me. Okay, I'm giving you some time to think.
Yes, I have a question. Like, so if it's traveling, if it's like flowing from node 1 to node 2, let's say like node 1 has executed something and it is having the output of it, right? So node 2 will have the will consume the output from the state only, right?
Node put. So basically, node 2. No, I didn't get your question.
Yeah, node 1 is a Python function, so it's giving
Yes.
some output. Okay.
Output.
So node 2 need to consume that output, which is created by node 1.
No, so let me tell you how it is going to consume. There comes the concept of state. Okay. What will we do for the whole graph or for our whole project? Now here comes your brain, or I would say that as a developer, here comes your skill. That, and it can be an iterative process as well, that over the project, we'll see once we do the project, you will define your state that, okay, I think during the whole project, I will have 5 variables: V1, V2, V3, V4, and V5. Okay.
Yeah.
At every node, I will do some activity and I will update the state.
Right.
So what was happening? Why I showed you all these examples? That this was a state where I was having 5 these variables, right?
Right.
So initially the state was blank. At step 1, something happened. Okay, something happened and I updated it. Whatever I did, I don't care. You can do anything inside that function. That's up to you. But whatever you do, you have to update state that, okay, in this node I updated these and these variables.
Right.
Then I will come to node 2. In node 2, I will do something. I'll write some function, do some activity, whatever. Then I will update some states, right? And there I will update some states. So what will happen that over the time, a state will have multiple versions at each of the node. So at each node, you will pick up the value from the previous state and you will update the next state.
Right.
Is it clear?
Yep.
Yeah, please. Any question, please ask.
Yeah, I'm confused between the state, node, and edge. No.
Yeah. What are you confused? Tell me.
No, basically, I am understanding state as the start, and then something.
State is not the start. State is not the start. What is this? Why
state means it has some value. Some, for
state
example,
is a snapshot of all the activities. So think like this. Node is, suppose you have an application. Okay, it has 5 steps. Okay, so step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, and step 5. You are in the backend. You are tracking up. You have a place where you have kept some variables. Whatever you do here in node 1, you will update in this state.
Okay.
Now, when you have to execute node 2, you will take the information from the previous state and then run the node 2, and then you will update the next state. Think like this. What was happening here? Try to relate with this. Here, person started at 0. He had nothing. His budget was 5 lakhs.
5 lakhs.
He came to the Delhi airport. He spent 50,000 rupees. So at node 1, so this is basically, this is your start node, right? This is your node 1. At node 1, He did something. He would have done hundreds of things. Main thing is he spent 50,000 rupees. So what he did, he updated his budget to be 4,50,000.
So the node is basically spending the money, right?
Node is spending the money or doing any kind of activity.
And then the updated value in the state is the the updated value gets it to the state, next state.
Updated value gets to the state.
Okay, after spending.
After spending. Now, when you will start node 2, you will know that, so you will pick budget value from here rather than picking it from here, right? You will know that I have a budget of 4,50,000 only now. So you will do things accordingly.
Then again spend or
then you again spend, your budget will be updated. Now in this step, you will take budget from here.
Yes, previous state.
Right? So this is what is happening. At node, you do something, but you update in a state.
So in our example, node 1, node 2, and node 3 are basically spending.
They are spending.
In a sense.
Yeah, they are spending.
Okay, got it.
So little bit I got means nodes are something where you perform an activity and then what is the state? I'm like what
Node
is
is
the
where
difference?
you perform some activity. State is something where you keep a snap. State is like your diary. Whatever you did at that state, you will update that information in that.
So overall, whatever you did, the complete snapshot will be the state, you mean to say?
Yes.
And node is where you perform the activity.
Yes.
Okay.
Can I say state is input and output of each node? Yes. So at every node, so think like this. At every node, you just 1 second. You will have an input state and you will have an output state. Okay. So you will fetch values from the input state and you will update value to the output state. Now your output state will be the input state for the next node.
Yeah, right.
And this is sequential, no? Input from the existing and then pass it to the next node, like that?
Yeah, it will be sequential. It will be sequential, like this.
So in this scenario, kind of data.
Yeah, please guys ask.
Yeah, sir. Sorry for interrupt. And for my requirement, I need to build a chatbot.
Yes.
For my databases, actually, we are using 4 kind of databases.
Okay.
One is Mongo.
Yeah.
And another one is 𝗙𝗂𝗁 and MariaDB. So which consists of information, both are document wise and CSV and non-CSV.
Yes.
So can be possible to feed all different kind of databases and
yes,
then,
everything is, so you can create one node for SQL, second node for NoSQL, like MongoDB, and all those things you can create.
So here my question is, so whether it will be able to fetch the information. So suppose as we are dealing with multi-cloud project, so when we give an, so what are the resource count which is in Azure, or what are the resource count which is in AWS? So
yes.
can we able to pick these kind of questions from the database?
Yeah, you can pick those questions.
Here the one thing is raw data is stored in one of the DB and resource count is stored in one of the DB. So that does it have a communication between those?
No, so it will be better in LangGraph. What will you do? You will create one node to get the raw data, second node to get the resources, and in the third node you will push the changes.
Here the problem is raw data would be stored in MongoDB.
Yeah, that's not a problem.
That's not a problem, right?
That's not. It can be in any type of database. That does not. Node. What does node mean? Node means you do anything. You do SQL, NoSQL, MongoDB, web scraping, whatever you want to do. You do anything in that. Okay. Does not matter whether it is MongoDB or anything. It does not matter. Main concept of node is you split your project into multiple steps. Okay. These are those steps. Now, these steps for same application, you might do things in 5 steps. I might do in 3 steps. Someone else might do in 2 steps. That depends upon the person. Any question, guys? Is it clear?
Yeah, it is clear.
I have a question. Like state and nodes are quite clear now. So what exactly is edge?
Edge is nothing. Edge is just, we are saying that you are going from node 1 to node 2.
Okay, but in code
it a direction?
perspective, it's not like anything
No,
specific.
it's code. In code, you just write down that after node 1, you have to execute node 2.
Okay,
So you
okay.
will give a
Sequence
direction.
in which we are going, that is indicative of
Yeah, edge is indicative. So one is simple edge, which says you'll go from node 1 to node 2. You cannot go to node 3 from node 1. You can only go to node 2. So you set up some connections like this, that node 1 can only go to node 2. Then node 3 can go to either node 4 or node 5, right? So edges are just connecting the nodes. So two types of connection are possible. One is single direction connection. Second is conditional connection. Is it clear, guys?
Also, in what format are we storing our state?
It's the state is stored in a dictionary format, or you store in pydantic format. Okay, pydantic is also basically dictionary only. In this project which I'm going to show today, I'll store in dictionary format. So state is always stored in dictionary format. Remember this. That's why I showed you this example. You will have a key, you will have a value, key value, right? You keep on updating things. Any question, anyone, before I move to the project? After project, I will explain why LangGraph is more important. Okay.
So one thing about nodes as well, like you told that state is in that format. Nodes are always a function, or they could be
Node could be
class.
anything. Node could be any Python code. Mostly, it's a function only. One function, two function. It can be combination of multiple function. But eventually, node is a function only. If you see overall, node is a Python function. Because what is happening in node? You're taking an input and giving an output. Correct?
Yeah.
Which Python thing does this? That takes an input, gives an output.
And it's a function.
Function, right? So it's a function only. You define different types of function that you decide based on now single function can contain multiple function inside. That is possible. But overall node, every node is a function only. Every node is a Python function.
So what is edge in context of our example?
Edge is just saying that after node 1, you have to execute node 2. So it is just
No.
telling you.
In case of our example, the Arav's example.
So you can think like this, that from Delhi, he went to London, right? From Delhi, he didn't go to New York. Correct?
Okay,
From
right,
Delhi, he
got
did
it.
started exploring London, right? So
Okay.
he did things in a certain order, correct?
Order.
So that this order is basically what is edge.
Okay.
Any question? I didn't start with state and all that. Otherwise, you would have got confused. That's why I gave this example, that how it is managing. Just whenever you get confused, try to visualize this example, that in applications, you will create multiple, I will say, Python functions or nodes. Okay. And at every node, you will store a snapshot, so that you can basically, how this snapshot is used, that is something when I teach LangGraph in a course, I can tell more in detail there. But this is very important. Like because of this state, this snapshot, you can have memory, you can have persistence, you can have human in loop, lot of things which are required. Okay, so but again, everything I cannot cover in this class. But just to tell you that LangGraph works on this. The whole concept of working of LangGraph is state and nodes. State, nodes, edge. That's it.
Can age be acyclic, like means it is sequential now, but let's say we want the output of the first node and we are into the third node. So it will be like, acyclic, like not in a cyclic position. So is it that possible?
Yeah, so this is what is called conditional edge, right? This is acyclic. From here, you can generate those combinations. Here, if you see a lot of combinations, like one can go here, another can go here. So those things you can do. So from going one to other, then branching out further, those things are possible. That is why if you now please try to see this diagram. Does this make sense to you? This is how a LangGraph works. That user will send a question, so you initially state will be blank. Okay, an agent interact with customer, it will do something, it will update the state and pass to the next basically node. So it will either pass to a tool call, whatever you do, or it will end, right? So it will keep on looping, keep on looping. So this is what it is doing. Yeah, guys, tell me if you have any other question before I move to the project.
It's clear.
Clear, right? So let me explain you all this with the project as well. It's a small project only, but things will get clear a lot once you see the project. So the project that I'm going to do is present on the LangGraph page only. So if you see, this is reflection agents. So what we are going to do now, so this is given by LangGraph only. So I'm just using that project right now. So let me tell you what is going to happen. We're going to create a generator and a reflector. Okay. So what is going to happen? There will be a generator which will generate me an article, or it could be a tweet, article, anything, whatever I say. Okay. So suppose what I will have a generator here. This is a generator. It will generate some article. Ideally, what happens? Does LLM produce now what happens in real scenario that someone gives you an article, you review it, you give it feedback, it works on that feedback and improves it. It then submits you again. You will review it, then you will give feedback again, then you'll submit. Those things keep on happening, right? Till his article is perfect. Something like that happens. So we're trying to simulate something here, some only that, but here will everything LLM will do for us. Okay. So we will give a topic. For example, we'll say, speak about AI. Create an article on AI in, for example, 100 words. Now this generator node, what it will do, it will generate an article. Now this article, we will not pass to human and the first go. We want to improve the output of the LLM, that the answer that user is getting should be very good. So what is going to happen is that this, whatever was generated, I will pass to an LLM once again. Okay. Now this is a reflector. How many of you know about the concept of GANs? Generative adversarial networks. How many of you know about it? Okay, forget it if you don't know. So there are two things. One, so in life also, what happens? Sometimes we say something, we take some decision, right? Instantly in the moment of the heat. And after some time, we realize that, no, I mean, I should have said something else, or maybe I should have done something different, right? There's one part of our brain which reacts always. And one part of our brain is which analyzes things calmly and then it handles, right? So this is what a similar concept we are going to apply, that our eventual goal is to give an article to user, but we want to give a very good article. So what we are doing here is that we'll create two nodes. One node will generate and another will reflect it. So suppose it gives an article of 100 words. What this is going to do, it is going to rate it. It's going to give it a score out of 10. Okay, let's say it gives 8 out of 10. And it will say these are the weak points. Okay.
So it will analyze it and then it will give, right?
Yeah. So this generate article will generate an article. Then you will pass this article to this reflector. This reflector will analyze that article and give it some feedback. Okay. It will give it some feedback based on the prompt that I set. Now, after that, it will give some weak points that, okay, your article was 8 out of 10, but you could do more. Whatever weak points were there, they will be now passed to LLM again, telling that your previous article was good, but it had these many weak points. please work on these points and improve the article again. So what will generator do then?
So it will take the feedback and
Take the feedback, improve the article based on the feedback,
right,
and
gap.
generate a new article.
Right.
And now we can pass it again to the reflector that, okay, this is, for example, think like this. Let's do one thing. Let me just show you very simple simulation here. This is Claude. Okay. Suppose, just a second. Suppose this is I say write a 100-word article on AI, for example. Okay. So this is my generator at the first time. So it has given me an article of 100 words, correct? Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this article and I'm going to write to reflector that I have below article, rate it out of 10. Again, I'm using a very basic prompt right now, and give me 3 points of improvement. Okay, and I paste this article. So I took the output from the generator and I will put in the reflector, telling that please rate it and give me 3 points of improvement. So what will happen now?
Now it will understand the article that we were given, and it will identify the gap and give the gaps.
Yes. So now see, it has given me these 3 points. So what I'm going to say, so now I have got the basically it has critiqued my article, right? It has given me working areas. So now I will go to generator once again, that below is your original article and 3 feedbacks. Okay. Work on the feedbacks and incorporate changes in your initial article. Okay. So what was my initial article? This was my initial article. Okay. So I'll say this is my initial article and below is my feedback. Feedback from where I'm getting?
The critic one.
This one, right? Okay. Now it will generate me a yeah. So in 100 words, right? All those things I need to provide. Okay. So now it will basically delete everything and it will work on the feedbacks and it will generate me another article. Got it? This is one cycle. Generate, critique, then generate, then again critique, and I can keep on looping this particular thing up to a certain level. Agreed?
Yes.
And suppose there are multiple steps. Now this loop can keep happening indefinitely. So I should have a condition to stop it. Generally, what we do is that we will say that, okay, till the score of the article comes out to be greater than 10, keep on looping it. Okay. Now, or you can say, okay, after 3 iterations, stop it. If I think after 3 iterations, I will have enough. That depends upon you. How you want to break the loop, it's totally up to you. But point is to tell you that you can generate a feedback loop here. What you can do, so let me just draw it once again. What you're going to do, you will have a generator here and you will have a reflector here. Okay. This generator will give it an article. This reflector will give it feedback points, right? So it will give an article, it will give it feedback points. and it will keep on running until I put a certain condition so that it stops. So after maybe let's say I'll put a break after three iterations, and it will stop, and I will get a better article. So now think like this: compared to my first article, which I would have got, my third article would definitely be better. Correct? Yes or no, guys?
Yes.
So this is
Yes.
what we are going to implement. It's a very basic project, not a very advanced. So this is what reflection. Now, reflection agents, there are multiple types of. I am doing a very basic reflection just to explain you LangGraph. But if you see, there are tool calling options as well. So what is happening here? One will generate from here. It will give you an initial response. Then you'll pass that response to reflect. It will criticize on some points, and then generation will happen again, and this loop will keep on running. It's a kind of feedback loop if you try to see that, right? And we can keep on running this feedback loop until we want to break it. So I'll put some conditions so that I can break it, but this is how it is going to work.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
I had one doubt here. So here, as you told that the reflector is nothing but like a discriminator, right? Which
Yes.
criticizes or tries to improve. So in these cases, do the generator and the reflector use the same LLM model, or it should use?
It's up to you. You can choose different LLMs. You can choose different LLM. It will be good if you can use different LLM. You will have varied options, right?
Okay. Normally, if I am using same model, it might be biased, right?
It
Because
might
it only
generally
generates.
improve. You cannot say it will be biased always, but yeah, I mean, if you use other LLM, you will have more options, I would say, right? Better, like better output possibilities.
Okay.
Okay. So is the project clear to you guys, the architecture?
Yes, I think it's clear. So instead of giving human giving the response, like we can automate that process.
Yeah, we can
Like,
automate this feedback. Now this thing can be integrated in your company at a lot of places. Suppose document review you have to add, right? Instead of keeping people review, a person to review that, you can have an AI review everything, right? Those conditions on what basis you want to review, you can put them. I will right now just put a very basic condition, but those conditions you can put, and everything will be automated. You will see that.
right. And one more thing, one more doubt. Like you have seen, you have shown that data science GPT, right? Like some AI kind of thing. Now,
Which thing I didn't get?
you have seen the data science GPT, right? Like some.
I don't have any GPT, to be honest. I don't have any.
You have shown like.
It was Claude.
Claudia.
That was Claude. That was not data science. That was Claude. It was not. This is Claude. It just
Okay.
my account name comes like that.
Okay. So here, when you just copy the thing, like there's an option of improve, right? Like what it will do exactly.
Sorry.
So if you copy the text that has been generated, so there's an option of improve, right? Improve option is there, right?
Where is it?
Yeah. Please go to that. Please copy that. Just.
Yes.
I've seen like some improve option is there. Yeah. Here. Improve and.
There is no improve option.
I don't see any option like that. Anyway, we'll see that. I mean, if there is, it is good. I'm just trying to see how you can show you how you can do it manually. Okay.
Sure. Yeah.
So now we have 30 minutes left. I'm going to code. I'll be a little fast, right? But I'll explain you everything. Don't worry. All right. But just try to understand how I'm creating state, how I'm passing a state, and we will use LangSmith to trace our LLMs. Okay. So those things I'm going to show you. So now let's do one thing. Let's open VS Code. I'm going to code in that. So I will need some environment where I'll need an OpenAI key, which I'm taking. Or you can use anything, Grok, OpenAI, anything you can use. Okay. So let me do one thing. Desktop. Okay, so I'll create a .env file. Here I will put and my environment variables, OpenAI key and all that, right? So now I'll create a virtual environment, Python 3 mvenv. So this is env/bin/activate. Okay, sorry, source.venv/bin/activate. Okay, I have got this. Now I have to keep a requirement.txt. Okay, so I'll be adding some packages into this. Now this I remember, that's why I'm adding, otherwise it's no. LangChain, LangGraph I'll be using LangChain OpenAI. Okay, then I will be using LangChain OpenAI, LangGraph. Yeah, I'll need Python.env. Okay, and then I will need a library 𝗥𝗲𝗃 for displaying the chart. Okay, so this is it. Now, okay, now let's come to this thing. First, let's discuss how we are going to do the project, right? So first of all, what do we have to do? We have to create a generator, correct? So let's try to understand the flow. Let's try to understand the flow first before we do anything. So what will be the flow of the application? User will give me a topic, correct? After this, what will happen? What will happen, guys? Tell me.
It will generate
A generator will basically generate an article. Okay. After that, a reflector will critique it, and this loop will keep on running till I stop it. So I am going to put a condition that after 3 iterations, stop. Okay, but this can be up to you how you want to define it. I am just keeping it so to spend less money, and then I will end the graph. Right. This is what my flow is going to be. Any doubt, anyone in this part?
Where LLM will comes here?
LLM will come here and LLM will come here at both nodes. This is node 1, this is node 2.
Okay, so user topic will go to the LLM, no? And then LLM will generate the response.
User topic will go to LLM. LLM generator is what? Generator is an LLM only in the backend. And reflector is also an LLM, but different prompts. It will have a prompt 1 and it will have a prompt 2. Okay. So let me do pip install. So I will install all the packages. Okay. Yeah. Anyone, any doubt in this flow?
No.
Good to go, right?
Yeah.
Just
so
try.
generator and reflector is like a node, right?
Yeah, this is nothing. This is node only. Okay. So now those who have done GenAI coding earlier, for them it will be a little easy. For those who have not done, don't worry. You don't need to remember syntax and all that. Just try to focus the architecture, that at what time what I'm doing what, right? And try to understand the flow and output. Coding and all that, don't worry much about it right now. Okay. So I will basically create a file chains.py. So I'll create 2 chains. First of all, I'll create a generate chain and then I'll create a reflect chain. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to say from LangChain underscore core dot prompts import chat prompt template. Okay, I'll get this and I will need this from LangChain OpenAI import chat OpenAI. Okay, so this is it now. So first let's write down generate prompt. So what will I do? I'll say generation underscore prompt is equal to chat prompt template. Okay, and this is dot from template, I think. Yeah, from template. And then here I will enter my prompt. So I'm going to enter a very basic prompt, not very advanced, because my objective is just to show you guys how things are working. So I'll say that let's say you are a creative and technically sound content writer. Okay, and maybe you can say specializing in emerging technologies. Okay, this is your first thing. Now what do you have to say? Based on user users instruction and question, generate what do you have to do? Generate a high quality article, strictly follow the guidelines below. Okay, something like this I will write, and there I will give some instructions. I will say these are my instructions, and in the instruction the first thing I have to give a user input, maybe whatever user is going to enter, and then I'm going to give some rules. Make sure first of all follow the requested style by user. For example, if user gives any style, tone and length. Okay, after that include relevant facts, trends or insights. Okay, after this you can give keep content original and clear and engaging, something like this. Okay, and fourth is maybe you can say you can like let's add some style to my article. I'll say end with famous Bollywood dialogue, something like this. Okay, something like this I have given. And also up to sometimes you need to mention that only return the content, do not include explanation. I need only article. Okay, something like this I have given, right? So is this prompt clear to you guys? Nothing fancy. I mean, it's a very basic prompt. Okay, all good?
Yeah.
Now what I'll do, now I will create a reflection prompt. Okay, reflection prompt. So what reflection prompt is going to do is, let's copy this, come here, name it reflection prompt. Okay, so chat prompt template. Right now I have to change all this. Okay, so let's do one thing. Let's remove everything. Let's write it from scratch. I'll say you are a senior editor reviewing the, for example, following piece of article by a junior, something like that you can say. Okay, for a fresh tech audience, thing like this. And then you have to give content. You'll say, so what is your content? You will have user input initially that you will provide, that will come to this function, and then you will say provide a detailed critique, including. So I'll mention some key points which I want in critique. Strengths. Sorry, forget strength. Why I don't. Okay, let's get it. Strengths and weaknesses of the content. Okay, this is your first thing. Second, tone, structure, and clarity. And then you can say suggestions for flow, punch, clickbait lines. Okay, something like this. What else could I do? Make it for college students, for example. Anything. I mean, I've just given randomly, right? In the end, give an overall score out of 10. Okay, and maybe a one-line summary of the verdict, something like this. Okay, a prompt and all that we can optimize later, but just to tell you that something like this we can write it down. Okay, so we have created two prompts: generation prompt and reflection prompt. All good, everyone?
So being a text model and the LLM, so they understand these doc strings.
Yeah, they will. Doc strings are nowhere. This is prompt. These are not doc strings.
So inside that prompt, that chat prompt template, inside it is that prompt. That's why.
This is prompt. This is not doc string. See, we are using chat prompt template. So whatever text it is going to convert it into prompt. This is exactly what you put in ChatGPT. This is that text. This is not doc string. Doc string is the function where you define function, right? It comes there. This is not doc string. Anyone, any question before? So now I created prompts. What is the next step do I need? I'll create LLM, which is equal to chat OpenAI. Okay, I'll select, let's say model equal to GPT 4.0. Okay, GPT-4, or by default you can leave it. You can select, it's up to you, whatever model you want to do. Or let's do one thing, model equal to GPT-4. Okay, and you can keep temperature equal to 0. So now I have to create two chains. One is generate chain and another is reflect chain. Agreed? Those who have done LangChain. How to create generate chain from this?
I didn't get temperature equal to 0. What is that?
Leave it. This is, if you understand LLM, it will come then. Leave it temperature. Just selecting model equal to 4. Or even you can leave this part as well. It will automatically pick whatever model you specify, but those things are there. Now, tell me how to create chain out of this.
Pass the user question to the LLM, bind that with LangChain.
You will pass your prompt to LLM, right? So you take your generation prompt and you will put it into LLM. Take generation prompt, use the pipe operator, and you'll pass into LLM. And then we will take reflection prompt and we'll pass into LLM. So those who don't understand, let me try to explain you. Again, it's fine if you don't understand, but just let me walk you through what is happening here. You take a prompt and you pass into an LLM, right? So this is what it is doing, that you are taking your prompt which you created, passing into LLM, and you're creating a chain. Again, this comes in LangChain. Basically, this is an object which we will run with users question. Remember, we don't have users input till now. We have created a format. Think like this: we have created a format which we will run with user question. So we will take users question in our next code and we will try to run it through that. Okay, so we have, this will be my generator, this will be my reflector. Okay, is it good, everyone?
We haven't taken user input yet, right? We are just creating the
No,
chain.
we have just created chain. We have not taken user input. We will take in next code.
Okay.
So this is just to create a format. Okay, now we are moving to the LangGraph code. Okay, now please see this. So now I'm writing on the code for LangGraph. So okay, now remember we spoke about creating a state, right? In the LangGraph, what is the first step do we do?
Create a
Initial state.
You create a state and you have to define what values you will want to track. Okay, so let's try to think. We are getting a user question, right? What all other important things are we getting from this this particular code, this particular thing?
First is a user question. So
User question, yes.
That,
We'll get a generated article. Right. So we'll track generated article
and a critic article.
And we'll track critique, correct?
Yeah.
And remember, I want to track a number of loops, that how many times I have executed generate chain. So I will also keep a turn count for myself. Once this turn count becomes greater than 3, I will end the process. Is it clear? These 4 things.
Yep.
Everyone? Any doubt? So let's move to main.py. So what I'm going to do, I have to create a class. Again, now those who don't understand class and objects, it's fine for now. Just try to bear with me, understand the objective, what I'm trying to do. If you don't understand code, that's fine. So we will create a class state, okay, which is going to, and it is going to be a dictionary type. Remember, we are creating a type of dictionary. So to get a class of dictionary type, we have to inherit from another dictionary class, which is in Python, it is called typedict. So we'll say from typing import, I'm getting 2 things. I'll explain what is literal little bit later. I type dict. So what is typedict? Think like this: typedict is a class of dictionary that whenever you create your own class, you inherit from this, right? Those who understand inheritance. So basically, we are going to create a state object, and state object will have a key value. Okay, so this is what we are going to create here. Now this particular thing will inherit from typedict. So for now, just understand that we are creating a class which is dictionary type. Okay, now what all 4 keys will be present in my class?
Input.
So we'll say user underscore input, and you have to give it a type. So it is a user input is of what type? String, text, an integer, or string, right?
String.
Then you will have generated article.
String.
Okay, this is also string. Then you will have critique. It is also string. You will have turn underscore count. This is int. Correct?
Yeah.
So this is a class that I've created. It will have 4 things which I will keep on updating as I move forward. Clear, guys? From .n import load.n. This is to get my variable like API keys, load.n. Okay. And now I have to import from LangGraph. I'll say from LangGraph dot graph. Yes, please, you can ask if anyone has any question. Oh, sorry. So from LangGraph dot graph, now there are two types of, there is a state graph and there is end and start. So by default, LangGraph provide you in end node and start node. So remember here we were defining, right? This was our flow. So we will have a start node which will be given by LangGraph by default, this node, and then we will have an end node. Okay, this is what our flow is going to look like. And so this is whatever object we create, we will convert it into a state graph, basically the graph which will be running throughout the code. We will see that. Now comes the objective of creating my first node, node 1, which is what? Generate article. Generate article. What is a node eventually? What did I tell you?
Task, Python functions.
Python function. So I'll say def generation underscore node. Okay, and this will, what is this? So this is going to take a state by default, right? Remember, every node takes a state and outputs a state. So this is going to state which is of type the state that I've created here. So when you do this, it will mean that it will have by default these 4 variables when you do this. Okay, and now you are going to output state that you have created. So this means this particular function is taking a state which is a variable which is of type state that we have created, and it is outputting something which is also a state. Clear?
Yes.
So now what we have to do, we also say we already have, now we have these chains present here, generate chain and reflection chain. So we will try to get it from there. So we will say from chains.py, from chains import, we have to import 2 things, generate chain and reflect chain. So I will say generate chain and reflect chain. So once a chain is created, how do we pass user question to a chain? Do you guys remember? I've told this in earlier sessions.
Invoke, right?
Invoke, correct? What do? We do take result. Guys, just bear with me 10-15 minutes more. Code is about to get over. Okay, just please try to understand the structure of the code. Result will be equal to what? It will be your generate chain, whatever I have created, dot invoke. Okay, and in invoke we pass, where what are we going to pass? User underscore
Query.
input, right? The variable, if you see here, what was the variable? User input, right? And where will this value come from in the state?
The class we have created.
The state object that you have created, it has a user input present with them, right? So you will fetch this user input from here. So and how to get a value from a dictionary?
Indexing.
Is it right? Guys, tell me if it is clear. या आप लोग के ऊपर से गया है, please tell me this line.
I don't understand result equal to generate chain invoke. Matlab, like I'm not able to visualize what is happening in.
So just
okay.
like this, assume that you created a chain here. You created a prompt. This user input value is you have to pass. So this is what we are doing here.
Okay, we are already created the chain and we are invoking the chain with our user question.
Yes.
Okay.
Anyone, any doubt in this part?
The first line I didn't got.
It's because you don't understand how LangChain works. So for now, just get this thing that whatever prompt we created here, right? Do you see this?
Yeah.
This is a variable, right? This is where I have to put user question.
No, I got that, but why are we using that over there, over here like this? That connection I am not actually understanding.
So
What you are.
this you need to study LangChain, right? Little bit. Have you worked on LangChain earlier?
No.
Yeah, so that's why you won't get it for now. So that's what I'm telling. Don't worry about the code much right now. Okay. Just
When you've written state here, like inside invoke,
sorry.
the state which you have written inside invoke.
Yes, it is the input that you are getting here.
Okay.
So think like this: what is happening? Let me draw and visualize things for you. Your function that you have created, it is taking an input state, correct? Is everyone with me till this point?
Yes.
My state has 4 variables: v1, v2, v3, and v4. Okay. I have a generate chain, which for those who don't understand the code, no problem. We have a chain, we invoke a chain with user question always. So I have a chain which I created in the previous code. I have to invoke with user question. Now tell me, in this function, from where will I get the user question?
The input prompt which you are asking.
No, prompt is getting passed in the chain. In
Okay.
prompt, there is no user question, right? You go to the prompt. Do you see any user question in the prompt?
No.
But you have given a placeholder to pass the user question.
Yeah.
So from where will this value come? Okay. Now remember, what is the input of my function? What is the input of my function?
State.
State. What does state contain?
The snapshot of.
Snapshot from the previous state or anywhere, correct?
Yeah.
So what all values are present in my state?
Question article yeah, correct.
So because it is present, user question is present in my state, right? In form of a dictionary.
Yeah.
So what I'm doing, if you try to see, I'm saying user input is equal to from state, take the value of user input.
Right.
Your state will be something like this. Think like this. It will be a dictionary. Okay. It will have.
Pairs will be like user question colon something something.
Yeah. What is AI? Let's say this is user question. Okay. This is generate. Now, right now, this will be empty because I have not generated anything, correct? And then I will have critique. And then I will have what? Let's say, what was that number? Turn count. Okay. So if you see this is the dictionary right now, correct? Before going to the function, you will have this information. You'll have some value in generation, some in critique, some in turn. If you have to get the user question, let's say this is A is equal to this. How will you get the user question from this?
Dictionary and then user question.
जो लोग Python कोर्स अटेंड कर रहे हैं वो तो प्लीज बता दो मेरे को एटलीस्ट. एक डिक्शनरी से एक वैल्यू कैसे रीड करते हैं?
Square bracket not
Square by A of
index of.
yeah.
Python कोर्स अटेंड कर रहे हो ना?
Yeah.
यूजर क्वेश्चन यही होता है ना?
Yeah.
This is how you get.
Yes.
I'll get this question from there. So this is what I'm doing here. If you try to notice, what am I doing? User input, this variable which is present here, I'm passing it a value of state user input.
Got it. Yeah.
Clear?
Yeah.
Pakka, everyone?
Right.
It's fine. आपको invoke वगैरह समझ में नहीं आ रहा, no problem. Just understand we have taken a prompt. In that prompt, I have to inject user question. And where is user question coming from? It is coming from the state by passing the key user input. Clear?
Right.
Now this function will return. So I have to return few things. So see, you return whole state. You write like this, and then you have to provide what all updates did you do. Remember, what did I tell you? What do you update in state? Whatever changes you have done. Remember expense wala part, that when we were spending something, we were updating our expense.
Yes, yes.
So what is the value? This is generated article. So this is the key value which I want to update, because this particular thing will update my article. And also I need to update one more thing. After every generation, my turn count should increase by 1. So this will be state.get turn underscore count, comma 0 plus 1. And generated article, how will you get this? This result, what you are getting from this result, you will get it. Correct?
Right.
Result dot content. There is a keyword. Those who have done LangChain, it comes from there. So what are you doing? So technically what this function is doing, this function is taking a state. What is the state right now? It is just a user question. Okay. It will run the code, invoke it, generate an article. Article will come from result, which you will update. And after every generation, you will increase the count by 1. So that when we reach 3, we basically close it. Clear this part?
Yes, sir, they're clear, but I have a doubt. Like, we
Yeah,
should not
ask.
we should not increment the count in the initial generation, right?
No, you can do it. It depends how you want to do it. I want to do here. You can do it in edge condition. Anywhere you can do it.
Okay.
So I'm saying after 3 generations, stop it. So in reflection, I will not increase.
Okay.
Why have we put 2 asterisks before state?
Before
State.
Before that state.
This is to provide that I want to pass. This is how LangGraph documentation is structured. There's no logic to this. That they mentioned that if you want to return the full state, you have to pass it like this, star state. It's more of a
state will give like what will it give?
It will return you all the 4 values.
Okay.
What did I tell you? You have to
state is a dictionary, so it will return the key value pairs of that.
Yes,
like,
it will return all the key value pairs. Okay. While returning, you say that I'm updating these 2 key values. Rest will remain same, which we are present here.
Okay, so this is under the LangGraph documentation, that this is how we will return the state and its parts, like its keys, updating the keys. It will be done in this specific manner.
Yes.
That's why we have done that. Okay.
Yes. So this means you're returning all the variables of the state.
And these are the below 2 are the updated ones.
These are the updates that I'm doing.
So basically, then what it will do? It will in the state, the current values what are there, they will remain same.
This will be your input. Okay. Input state. The output state will look like this. Some text will be there. Okay. Critique will be blank. And turn will become 1. This will be your output state.
Okay.
See, this was input. You had a question only. Everything was blank. You're returning all the 4. When you do star state, what does it mean? You're returning all the 4 variables. And parallelly, you are saying update these 2 keys with these values. So once you update them, so you will see the value at generation and turn.
Yeah, got it.
Are we not going to update the critic?
Critique will be
Yeah.
updated in reflection node. This is generation node.
Yeah, okay.
Hmm.
Yes.
Now remember this was my initial state. So if you see this is my initial state, state 1. This is my state 2. Now this state which I have created, this will be input to what?
The next state.
This will be input to reflection node.
Reflection node. Yeah. Yeah.
Correct? Initial
Yep.
question. This is state 2, which is input to generation node. Sorry, initial code. This is generation input. This is generation output. Correct? Generation output and reflection input. Can you say this?
Yes.
Yeah. Correct. Now this state will go into my reflection. So now let's write down the reflection node. I will say, now I'll do a little quickly here. Node 2 is reflection node. Okay. So I'll simply copy it from here, put it here. Now let's change this name to reflection node. Okay. Now reflection node will also take state, right? Will this part change? Tell me.
No.
It will not change, right? And here you were running generate chain. Here, which chain will you invoke?
Reflection chain.
So you'll invoke the reflection chain. Okay, everything user input. How will you get the user input from this? You'll get from this, correct? So you'll pass everything like this.
State of generation.
State of user input, right?
Generation.
You will take the output from this and take the user question, just like we are doing here.
Generation, right? Will take state of generation.
No, state. It is taking a state. This state is coming from the generation state only, right? Because eventually we'll connect them, right? That after generation only reflection will run. So whatever reflection is coming, state is coming, it is coming from generation. Clear?
But like the output of the generation node is set to the generation, right? So we should take the generation.
Output of generation node is state.
Right.
I'm passing this state here. And it is taking question from the updated state.
Right.
So this, what is the updated state? It is this one. So what is the question here?
What is AI?
What is AI? So it will pass here. Okay. And in reflection node, what all things I need to update?
Critic.
You'll update critic. We will not change turn, okay? Because turn we only want to change at my generation node. So I'll say critique. So this is there. Okay, this is the result. You can add something here. Critique. Okay, so this is just to avoid. You can keep result as well. Dot content. How? Just exactly like we were using generated article, right? Dot content. Dot content. So output of LLM is taken through dot content. That's all we need to update in reflection node. So these are our 2 nodes completed. So what will
dot content is a is a LLM thing.
Yeah, this is LLM thing. This is LLM thing. So whenever you take an output from LLM, you do dot content to get the context. Okay, I've put a video. I'll send you on the group. You can follow that to understand. So now what will happen from this particular thing S3? This is what reflection output, correct? So what you will get some critique here, correct? This is how your reflection output will look like. Yes or no?
Yeah.
So try to see what is happening. My state initially was this question and everything was blank. It went to generation output. Generation output updated my generation and it updated my turn. Then it went to reflection. Reflection updated my critique. What should be the next step now?
Again, generation.
Now it will go to
Response.
generation again.
Again.
Now, so this will go to generation,
S4.
right? And now it will keep this flow, this loop will keep on running. These three, what you see, it will go for run this. So these basically will keep on running and they will parallelly keep on updating generation.
So turn will increment only at the generation point.
Turn we are incrementing only at generation. It's up to us. There is no logic to this. I'm just saying that after 3 turns, I will close the loop.
Yeah.
Is it clear so far?
Yeah.
Pakka?
Yeah.
Anyone, any doubt? How?
I have a question like
Yeah, please, guys.
so the reflection will be done based on the generated summary, right?
Generated summary, yes.
Right. So if we go to the code, now please
Yeah.
go to the code. So in the line number 30, it should be like question or the generated content we need to pass as the invoke.
Oh, that's a good point, actually. That's a very good point. Sorry, I didn't see. It should be not be user input. What should it be?
It's like generated input.
Generated article. Yes, exactly. Do you guys get
Okay.
it?
Yeah. Got it.
Thanks for reminding this. Yeah, really. Because if you keep on sending same question again and again, makes no sense, right?
Right.
So every time you generate, you will keep on updating it.
Right.
Yeah,
Now
thanks.
clear.
Yeah. Is it clear now?
Yeah.
Anyone, any doubt? So just try to understand this flow will keep on running. Generate critique, generate critique, generate critique. It will keep on happening. And LLM will do it itself.
One doubt I have. Can you go to the Python file? So in the second term, will the input to the generation node will be different now? It should
Yes.
be like
Now it will not be. Yes. Yeah. Please tell me.
Yeah, it should be based on the what reflection tell, like what all improvements it has to do. Based on that, it needs to generate, right, again in the second iteration.
In the second iteration.
So second iteration should take again the output from the reflection, right? Like it should understand what all improvements it told, and it should take it into consideration and try to generate the content, right, when it is trying the second time.
So
yeah, it will be cyclic, no? I mean, yeah, now I got it. Means whatever is the output, what is in the node 2 now, reflection node, whatever we'll be getting, again, that will go as an input to the
Yeah, but the state is user input only, right? So I guess it will take the same question, right? Where will it incorporate the improvements it suggested from the reflection?
Yeah, I think here what we need to do, we need to provide the so I think I need to make some changes in the prompt as well.
I mean, I am just thinking that if now one cycle has been generated as a reflection, okay. So now whatever is the output for that, we will need to provide it as that state as an input to this.
So what is the output of reflection node?
So means and we have the count has been suppose incremented to 1. So can we write an if condition that now since if count is incremented, then take this generated.
No, you don't need to do all that. Simply what you do here, just update in prompt. Okay. what you will say, this is generation prompt, correct? You will say user question, okay, which is this. This will not change throughout, correct? Yes or no?
Yeah.
We
You'll
can
say
have another one for
base article, and then you will say critique. So you will say generate and critique. So can you think what is happening here now?
but there is a memory component as well in LLMs.
What
So,
memory?
like the memory component that it already has the answer it has produced once.
No, it does not work like that. A memory, remember, ChatGPT has memory, API calls do not have memory. When you make an OpenAI call, it does not store memory. You have to store memory yourself. What you do with ChatGPT is the functionality of ChatGPT. API calls never have the memory. So you have to
But
create
the
memory.
LLM models what we are using, do they have the parameter
No,
memory?
you cannot store memory like this in API call. You have
Okay.
to configure it separately. So what, yeah, great point. Whoever said that, it is, we don't want to pass the user input always, right? We want to pass the base article as well, and we want to pass the critique as well. Agreed?
Yeah.
So there will be three variables. So I'll go to main.py. What I have to do here, I have to provide three values, three key value pairs. What will be the next one? One is generate and another is critique.
Critique, yeah.
Because see, tell me, why do I need generate and critique here? Tell me. First time that it will generate, again, this all is text, right? Initially, this will be blank because there's no value here. So it will generate based on user question. Okay.
To
Second
continue
time,
the feedback loop, like whenever
Yeah,
the
to continue
reflection
the
is giving,
cycle.
to continue that.
yeah,
Yeah.
it has to know what it generated earlier, and it has to know what critique points are available. If we don't provide them, it will not give me the answer, right? So I need to provide it. Okay. So generate will be your, how will you get generate? How will you get generate?
State
State
and
symbol, everything you will get from state. Remember, every input that you're passing in LangGraph will be through state. Okay. So state
square brackets generate.
generated article. And then you need to provide a critique as well. Critique, let me check the spelling. Critique, and then it will be state critique.
Critique.
Nothing for reflection as well now. So let's see. For reflection,
Yes.
do I need for reflection?
No, I think this much is enough.
In reflection, what am I criticizing? I'm criticizing the article only. Correct?
Yeah.
So I don't need anything extra. Yes or no?
Yeah, for the first time you want, but for the next iteration.
Yeah, so for next iteration, it will get the new generated article.
Should we pass its previous critique points? Like, should it be there or should it not be there?
It depends. You can pass it for better results. So let's do that. Let's pass it. Okay. So let's go to reflection prompt. Okay, we will say this is a user question. Okay, you will say previous critique. It's a good point actually. So you will pass a critique value here. What do I need anything else? Generation, do I need a generation previous? No, I don't think I need a previous generation. What do you think? I have an article which I want to criticize. I want to say that criticize, but ensure that you don't give the same points again.
So this critique itself will go as an input to the.
This
So
critique will, yeah, critique will go as input.
yeah, so we don't need the.
So actually, generation is going here, critique is going here.
Yeah.
This, if you see in the reflection prompt, what is input? Generated article.
Yes, I think this much should
Yeah.
be enough.
You have to write down a little bit in the prompt here that make sure you don't repeat critique points if already given. Okay, something like this. Here also you just mention that base article, if base article and critique are not present, reply based on question. Okay, something like this I mentioned, just to like give it better context. So this is critique, so I need to pass in the reflection prompt. Critique, and what it will be? State critique. Is it clear? Again, this is optional. I think it is just to improve the results because so that it does not keep on repeating the same points. Is it clear, everyone? Guys, any doubt?
So I just wanted to see the part of the code where we are calling generate and reflection again and again. Like,
No, it will. That will happen through graph. When I run the code, I have not completed the code yet.
okay.
This is, we have just created two nodes. We are still yet to connect them, generate charts. All those things we need to do yet. We have not done.
Okay.
So now I'm coming to the third and last part, a decision function based on which you will decide whether you have to end it or you have to call a reflection node. Okay, decision function. So what is my decision point? If my turn count is greater than equal to 3, is greater than 3, I will call my end node. Otherwise, I will call my reflection node. Is it clear? Sorry. Def should continue. Okay. Now let me tell you what is the meaning of this literal. Literal means it can take either this value or that value. Okay. When you use a literal type, okay, so this form can be used to indicate the type of checkers. So you tell it whether, like for example, it says mode equal to literal R, RW, RB, W, WB, means it can only take one of these four values. Okay, so this is where we are using literal. So this will also receive state as input, third node, and it will be of state. Now it is going to return me a literal value. Okay, now it can have only two values. Now try to understand this. It can either go to reflect chain or it can go to end. Yes or no?
Yes.
So right now I'm just naming reflect as reflect, and end I am naming as this, and I think it works something like this. We'll see if it throws error. We will see that. Okay. So what is my criteria? It should return reflect
Okay, can you tell about literal once again and why we have
So
to
literal
do
means that if you give that this will have it has a literal A or B, it means that output can either be of A type or B type. Here we are passing to reflect and end. It means this should continue. This is a decision function, right? Why are we creating this? Tell me.
Yeah, we need to loop it until
We
our
need to
counter or
decide if we
something.
want to reflect or if we want to end the chain.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm saying it return reflect if state turn count is greater than, sorry, reflect is less than equal to 3. Else end.
Reflection node.
No, reflect is this one. As long you have not done 3 times, you will keep on reflecting. If it is greater than 3, then you will stop it.
Okay.
Tell me, is it clear, guys? What this function is doing?
So end is a this is end is a
End is a
inbuilt
node. Reflect is also a node.
node. Okay. No, I mean to
Yours,
say syntactically this end we have to write like that.
yeah, this is an inbuilt function. See, end.
Okay.
The last node in the graph style. Okay, this is
So
where
this
you
is a
end.
LangGraph thing.
Sorry,
This is a LangGraph thing.
it's a LangGraph thing. Yes.
And that
Where
I didn't got what is that
What?
underscore? That underscore end underscore.
This is how it is defined in LangGraph. I mean, it's not your fault if you don't understand. Don't worry.
and where have we defined reflect as a reflect node?
We will define it. We'll define it. That's why this error is coming.
Okay.
Now let's start building the graph. Okay, the last part of the code. Build graph. So right now we have only created a state. We need to create a graph object. So to create a graph object, we will call it builder is equal to state graph, which I called earlier, and I will pass the class that I provided it, right? Just by writing this, my blank graph is created now. My blank graph with these things so I have a blank graph with start node and end node. So now tell me, what all do I need to add to this graph?
The generate node
Generate
and
node, reflect node, right? So I have to add 2 nodes to my graph. So it's very simple to add node. You'll say builder dot add node. Okay, and in the add node you have to give the name. So I'm calling it generate. This is the name which will get printed and you will see in the chart. Okay, and comma, you will pass the variable. So where is my function name? Generation node. So this is my generation node. That's how you will add a function, add a node. So now what happened? I have added a generate node. What should be my next?
Reflection.
Reflection node.
So I'll say builder dot add node. And what is the name I've given? Reflect, right? Reflect and comma reflection node. Is it clear?
Yeah.
Okay. Now I've added 2 nodes. So this is done. I've added reflect node as well. Now what I need to add, entry point. From where do I want my graph to enter? By default, it is from start, but sometimes you can change it, right? So you have to define it entry point. So at here, we are just adding nodes. So just add nodes. Okay. Then you will add entry point. So entry point should be what? Like after start node, what should be the first? Remember, we have created two nodes. We haven't told which one should be the first.
Yeah.
Right? It could be reflection first. It could be generate first. So we have to find which is the starting point of my graph. So what should be that?
Generate.
Builder dot set entry point. Okay. And then you will pass the name generate that we created. Clear?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Now I have to add edges. Now tell me this thing. From start to generate, I have connected, right? By saying add entry point. Clear? Start to generate, I have connected. Now I have to connect generate reflect. Tell me, am I going to reflect always after generate?
No, exit as well.
There is an option of exit as well. So after generate, you have two options. You can either reflect or you can end the node, right? So which type of edge this is? Is it a normal edge or it is a conditional edge?
Conditional.
Condition.
Right? Now tell me, after reflect, are we always going to end, or we are going to always going to generate, or it is conditional?
Conditional.
Only.
No, after reflect, we are always going to generate.
No, no.
But
no,
last reflection.
Based on the condition, right? It should continue.
condition of the count, right? The
Think like this: if generate already happened four times, will it go to reflect?
No.
No, it will not go.
It will not go. If generate is 3 times, it will go to reflect, right?
Yes.
yeah.
After reflect, it will come to generate again. Now generate will send to end rather than sending to reflect.
Right.
So from reflect, it is always going to generate. Are you getting?
Right. Correct. Yeah.
I think from the last reflect, it will go to end. That is what I was thinking.
No, it will not. It will always go through generate to end. Let me just clear here. For to those
Why? Because the counter is getting incremented in generate.
we have given the condition of counter 3, right? So this is my generate, this is my reflect, and this is my end node. Okay. For the first time, it will generate. Count becomes 1. Now reflect, will it go to end?
No.
It will go to generate. Now generate will do again, it will become 2. Reflect. Now it will go to generate again. Now it will become 3. It came to reflect. After this, it has to go to generate again. And when it becomes 4, then it will end it.
Yes.
Okay. Got it.
Is it clear?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is it. Let's go to main.py. So I have to add edges. So there are 2 types of edges. So one is a fixed edge. Builder dot add edge. So this edge is going from where to where? Its starting point is what? Reflect. And what is its end point?
Builder.
Builder?
No, generate, na?
Generate,
Oh,
right?
sorry, generate. Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Generate. This is your, and now you will add a conditional edge. So in conditional edge, where is it starting from?
Generate.
Generate.
Generate. And what is the value of the, what is the name of the function?
And should continue.
Not continue, right? That we created.
Should continue.
it will go from generate to should continue. Should continue will decide whether to go to reflect or to somewhere else.
Right.
And then I'm just setting up my names. I'm saying reflect whatever I created. Okay. So it is reflect and end is end. Wait a second. It's just setting up the names, nothing else. And yes, this is reflect. I'm just thinking should continue, give state to state, literal is call action in type of balance. Just a second. This is the graph created. I'm just seeing why is this giving me an error. So state gives a state, then literal. Okay, literal has to be a list, I think. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Is it clear, guys? Everything. Now I just run the graph. So after this, what I have to do, I have to basically print the graph as well, right? So there are 2 to 3 methods to print the graph, which I will show you. So one, yeah, you have to compile as well. So you'll say graph. Now, once you're everything you have created, you have to compile the graph. You will say graph is equal to builder dot compile. Okay. And this. And after this, there are multiple methods to print the graph. Graph dot get graph, you will say, and get graph dot print ASCII. This method is there. And there is another method. I'll say graph dot get graph. Okay. Graph dot get graph. Draw mermaid. Yeah, this is. I'm just thinking what else is there. So let's print it. Okay. And then there is one more method where we can generate an image in our folder as well. So that is graph dot get graph. Okay. Draw mermaid PNG. Okay. And you will say output file path, and you will just give a file name here. So for example, you'll call it graph.png. So what will happen? It will create a, so 3 methods to show graphs. I'll show you each one by one. Okay. So this is done. Now I simply have to run the workflow. So what I will say, if underscore name is equal to this is main, then you will, what you'll do, you will say, so input underscore text. Let's say this is my question. Input text. I'll say write a 100-word article on, for example, anything on Gen AI and future of tech jobs, something like this. Okay. This is what I'm trying to generate article. So after this, how to invoke the graph is basically, let me tell you, final state is equal to graph, which we created above, dot invoke method is there. Okay. There is graph stream as well, but that I will cover in LangGraph course only here. So it will be user underscore input variable. Remember that we created in the prompt. And what value we have to pass here? Tell me. Input text. Okay. And this is it. And now I want to print the result. I'll say print final state. You want to print the generated article. What is the value name? Let's go here, generated article. So I want to see my final generated article. Okay. And suppose you want to see the critique as well. You will say final state and you will call the critique value as well. Where is critique value? It is this, and you will call this. So that's it. The graph. One more thing here, if you see in the .env, I can add a I want to track this. So whatever graph executions are done, I want to track them as well. So to track the graph executions or any, there is a thing called as LangSmith. Okay, LangSmith is a place where you can track all your LLM calls. So let me just go there. So what you can do here is come to this. This is setup tracing. Okay, you will click on generate API key. It will create a generate API key for you, and you have to keep all these variables. So simply copy them and you paste in your VS Code.env folder. And so remove the OpenAI key. We already have it, and LangSmith API key is there, right? I think so. We can simply copy it and put it here, and we can name our project. LangGraph, for example, first demo. Okay. So now
Can
what?
you,
Yeah, please.
when did you go there, like in the previous page for generating this? Can you show once again?
This is it. So they provide you a code.
How did
Everything.
you, so what did you type like?
I didn't. I just came to the website LangSmith. I came inside. Here is an
Hmm.
option, setup tracing. Click on it,
Hmm.
and it will give you this. So you just copy this, and you can change your project name as per yourself. That's it.
Hmm.
Put in the .env folder. Okay, that's all we need to do.
And this API key, from where did you got, like
That's what I
API
told
key?
you. This is there, na? Generate API key.
Oh, okay. Hmm.
You click
Okay.
on it, it will generate an API key
It
for
will
you.
generate. Okay. Hmm.
Okay, so you'll put it here. That's it. Now go to this main.py and let's try to run the code. Hope it runs. Key error, generated article. It should be generate article, right? What is the key value?
In invoke is there.
Dot invoke. Where is it?
Oh, yeah, there. Line number 30. No.
This one. Line 19, it is saying.
19, yeah, 19.
I think the spelling was incorrect, right?
Yeah, might be.
Let's run it again. No. What it is showing? Key error generated article. Let me check it once, guys. Okay. This is generated article.
Key.
Sorry.
Key. State before state.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Thanks. Makes sense. Okay. Now let's come here, clear it. Now let's run the code. I think it is again at multiple places. Line 19, it is showing. Generated article, generated invoke. Yes, again. During the task name with generate. Except run the top.
Last week in generate.
What is it? Result generate chain dot invoke user generated article state generated article.
Spelling is there.
It is giving in state. Maybe I have missed a comma or something. Let me check. User input generated article critique. This is it. Critique.
I think in spelling mistake or something.
Yeah, it is some spelling mistake only. I'm not able to see.
Should we check in the prompt file also? I mean, sorry, change.file.
Where?
No, in other Python file, are we using this one?
Which I didn't get. Which Python file?
The where we had prompt, right?
No. There, I don't think we are using this. This error is coming in main.py line 19. Let's do one thing. Let's close it, save it, then reopen it. Sometime it happens. No, same error.
Sadhvik, let's check in the state class. Maybe the spelling mistake or something. Generated article. Yeah, same only.
Same. Let me just put in. Meanwhile, let me just put in public screen. Don't have time to check that. Chat. Let's see what is the problem here. The error, this added space after the colon in the function state. Okay, that could also be the thing. Better indentation. The logic of your function appears correct. Yeah, let's see this. If just changing this much will work. Yeah, it's same error. State line 21 में error आ रहा है. 21 generate chain. Okay, I think I get what is happening. Yes.
Here we are giving generate in the other file.
Change.py.
No, think like this. We are passing a user input here, right? This user input is going where? It is going into the
state.
Into the state. So if we see, let's see the generate chain. There are three values here: user input, generate, and critique. Right? So what you need to do initially, you need to pass the values here as well. Generate,
empty.
Right? You'll pass it empty string initially.
Critique.
Sorry, critique. And you will pass it as an empty string initially. So that's what I'm thinking. Let's see if it is right. Yeah, it is. Then let's do one thing. Let's just put to LLM right now. We'll see later because it's been a long time, right? Let's just check.
Sure.
What is the error? Let's see what error it tells. Okay, turn count also. Sorry, decision function change end-to-end. That is fine. This in the final invocation change generate to generated article to my. I think this was the error, right? It was mentioning. In the final invocation, let's check it where we are invoking. Let's go to code. Let's try to change it. Yeah, come here. This is generated article.
Yeah. But this one had another
Yeah, but input is missing. Generate expected critique. Generate received user input generate. It's fine. Input to chat and missing generate. So okay, so it should be generate only. Critique is this received user input generated article critique. If you instead generate to be part of the string, not a variable, please escape it without double. Now let's run it. Now it's giving me this error. Yeah, this is. I need to check. It's fine. Okay. अरे चेन को नहीं ठीक करना यार. So let's see what it is saying. Generated art based on can be updated main.py. Generated article. Okay, this is fine. This is fine. This is fine. Input text, generated article. What to say here? I'm just thinking what is the problem. It's fine. Let me create in a new file, test.py. Test.py. No, it is missing it. So what do we need to do right now? Let's do one thing. Okay, we will fix it. I'll fix it, the code. I'll remove these for now. So basically I was doing this project before this class as well. So let me run and show that much just to show you that how it works. Okay,
sure.
So this was my main thing. So when you will run the code, what will happen? This type of chart will be generated. If you see this chart is generated, this chart is generated. So this is one way of saying it. Another way of seeing the chart is this. If you see, if I bring it down, see, I'm starting from the start node, going to generate node, reflection is happening, and here it is ending. So if you see, start to end is a fixed edge, reflect to generate is a fixed edge. This is a conditional edge after this, right? And if you see, this is my final article which has come, and this is my critique. So let me show you how things are happening in LangGraph. So if I go to LangGraph, where is it? LangSmith. So LangSmith. So this was my project reflection LG. Okay. Now this happened, I think just now I ran this one. So in LangGraph, you can track that. So the total code took 8.6 seconds to run. Okay. Then it will say that your first LLM, first generation prompt took 1.45 seconds. So if you will click on this, it will show you what was the input to your generation prompt first. So this was the input, and it generated me an article like this. And my turn count became 1. Okay. Now this generated article will go to reflection node 1. Now reflection node 1, so this will be the input. Okay, and this is the user question, and now based on that it will criticize me. Correct?
Yes. Yeah.
And then it will keep on repeating the loop. So now see, it will take that critique which I had here, generated it. Now based on that it will generate another article. Now again it will reflect. Basically it will criticize again, and it will keep on happening. So total 8 seconds took. Different LLM calls would have gone, right? You can track and check each LLM raw output, input, everything you can see from here. From metadata you can see at what time, what many calls, which model did it run, everything you can see. So it is now using GPT 3.5 Turbo. You can change the model name as well, right? So these things are there. I hope overall LangGraph intuition is clear to you guys. This code I'll see it because I've changed couple of things that might be bothering it, but not a problem. Right?
Satvik, can you go to the end of the code? I had some doubts.
Yeah. Yeah, what are the doubts?
Yeah, just a second. Can you again tell about the draw mermaid one? Like what exactly is that?
These are the methods to create create graphs. One, if you see, one is simply creating dotted lines. Through mermaid, you're printing graph like this. That's all it means.
Okay.
This is a way to represent chart, how nodes are connected, how edges are there, and all those things.
This is your corrected code file, no?
Yeah, this is corrected code. I keep a code in the backup. Yeah.
What is LangSmith doing?
LangSmith is used to track all the LLM calls that you're doing.
Like
see
visually.
how many LLM calls are happening in this. In this one set, how many LLM calls are happening?
Like multiple, like up until that loops get
R1,
completed.
G2, R2, total 6 LLM calls are happening. So all those you can track from LangSmith. This shows it took 8 seconds to run your code. First LLM call took 1.45 seconds. So you can check what was the input to the first LLM call, what was the output to that. Then second LLM call, this was the input, this was the output. Third LLM call, this was the input, that was the output, and so on. You can keep on doing.
Times is the loop. That's why it is generator reflector is 6 times.
Yes.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 total.
So it's a visual representation of LLM calls happening in backend.
Yeah, it's a visual representation to see about what calls you did, how much time did it take, how many tokens were there in each call, right? If you go to let's go to this. If you click on the JSON, the raw output, right? So this is what it is, and now you can further see a lot of things in the metadata. There's no feedback for this run, but you can see these all things are there. Then monitoring also you can do reflection LG.
So based on this, we can tweak our code as well, no? I mean, what we are getting the output, and we can change the code.
Yes. So LLM calls you can trace from here. All runs. Sorry. Okay. So tracing projects. This was reflection LG. Right. So if you do LLM calls, you can see all these LLM calls which happened. How many tokens were there? How many 15 LLM calls have been made per prompt? We are making 265 tokens, and a lot of things you can do. This is basically a dashboard.
Mostly for observability.
Sorry?
It is for observability.
Observability, that how latent. Generally, you have to see, suppose your application is running slow. What you can do, you can come to LangSmith and see which step is taking how much time. And from there, you can track it.
So latency, token limit, what is the document burn?
How much cost each project is taking. If you see, it costed me $0.01, right? To make one call, something like this. So these things you can track from here. So it's a dashboard basically, LangSmith, of your project.
Is it open source, no?
It is open source, yes.
Okay.
In Arrays also we can see that this one, right?
Sorry?
In Arrays as well we can see this thing, right? Arrays.
Here I'm not getting you.
Arrays. Open telemetry arrays.
Yeah, open telemetry, you can see that. And so like in companies, open telemetry, where LangGraph is not used, they use open telemetry a lot.
So if LangGraph is used, they will mostly rely on the LangSmith, right?
Yeah, it depends upon a company. Like in my previous company, I was working at American Express. There they were using open telemetry. They were not using LangGraph. So depends upon your company.
Okay. And Swapnil, what about the scalability? Like
Yeah, so let's come to scalability. So you all understood, right? LangGraph, what it is doing.
Yeah.
Now let's come to just one last slide where I wanted to talk about why LangGraph is important, why I'm saying that why it is the best framework so far in the market right now.
Right.
That first of all, if you see that between every node, if you saw, the states were getting shared, correct? The input of one state,
Yes.
another node could read. Now that is very important. Suppose you're running a multi-agentic project. An output of one agent, second agent needs to take. Those things are not available in most frameworks. So 𝗙 AutoGen or any other framework right now does not do that. Now recently in the market, there is a framework A2A, agent to agent protocol, that has started doing this. So that integrates it, but LangGraph alone can handle it, all of that. Okay. So that is the advantage of having LangGraph. Second thing, it adds feedback loops, which we just saw, where you can improve your output. Now, for example, for SQL query, there also we can run a similar feedback loop, right? 𝗙 AutoGen, they do not provide. They just generate an answer and they move forward. An agent will be there, it will generate an answer and it will move forward. You will not have an option to reflect on your past and to improve self-healing. Those things are not available there. Okay.
Yeah.
So these things are very much important when you try to build scalable application, because in a scalable application, what you need, you want all your things to be decoupled. What is the meaning of decoupled? They should be separated from each other. That's why you create different nodes and you connect them together. So so all multi-agents can run parallelly by sharing their inputs to each other, so that any agent can pick up from anywhere. That is the main objective. So a state management, no one provides. Conditional logic and branching, no one provides. Checkpoints and time travel, we have not covered that, because that I'll cover in the course only. But there is modularity as well, that each node is a pure function, simple, right? Those things are not there. In 𝗙 what you do, you just write down that, okay, I create an agent 1 is equal to which does this for me. You are not going at the core level, that how things are working. Here we saw actually how states are working, how one node is taking value from each other, right? This is like the atomic level of creating an agent. A lot of framework that you see, they will give a function, you will pass a value to that okay, this agent should do this, give it a parameter this and execute it. There what is happening, you are not hitting the core, that how it is working in the backend. Here, while running the code, we developed that, right? That how an agent, how a node is picking a value from state, how it is updating it, how it is passing to the next framework, right? All those things. So even you can create agents in 𝗙 AutoGen or other things, but that granularity is missing. Like you don't, yes, it's like a packaged function which is given to you, you can run it. But when it breaks down, you don't know how to recover it. Is it clear?
Right.
So LangGraph is difficult to learn. Let me tell you this. It's very difficult to learn initially, especially a lot of you who are hearing for the first time, it would be difficult for you. I'm not denying that. Now, whatever I taught you is just the tip of the LangGraph. LangGraph main things start, as I showed you, when you start studying, for example, check pointers, right? And all those things. Streaming, when you do streaming in LangGraph and all those things. So you go to the LangGraph documentation. We have just covered the first, building a basic chatbot. There are tools, memory, human in loop, customize, time travel, deployment, MCP integration is also available in LangGraph, tools integration, context, memory management, multi-agent, evaluation, and then you will come here, you will see persistence, breakpoints, and then you will see a lot of things here. Webhooks are there, and double texting. A lot of concepts are there, and each concept in itself is a like big chapter. So it takes time to master LangGraph, but my recommendation is that use this, because this is something which you will use in company, because you want to go to the atomic level of things, that how things are working from the core. And that's why, in my opinion, again, I can give a long lecture on this. I don't want to keep you guys for long, but this is an overview of LangGraph, a basic intro session. Okay, so I mean, from wherever you guys want to study, go study, read about it, all right, do some course on Udemy, or maybe from anywhere you like. And if you have to build agents, build through it. It will really, I mean, help you scale things.
Sure. So, Satvik, what about the orchestration here? Agentic.
Agentic orchestration, as in, so what do you mean by that?
Like how it, here it is like structured workflow, right? Like it will be communicating based on the graph that we created, right?
Yes.
So the orchestration will be inbuilt and it will be covered here only, right?
Orchestration is inbuilt in this LangGraph. That's the best.
Yeah, in unstructured 𝗙𝗂𝗧 and all, like we need to mention like which agent to communicate to which agent and all those things. Yeah.
No, you don't need to. It will happen. You simply need to manage states properly.
In the 𝗙𝗂𝗧 and all. In the
in the 𝗙𝗂𝗧 you need to do that. Yes.
But in 𝗏2𝗏, they're coming up with this limitation, right? Like some better solution.
So A2A is basically resolving everything now. If you use A2A, you can have a 𝗙𝗂𝗧 agent, you can have a LangGraph agent, you can have a AutoGen agent. You can keep talking them parallelly. So A2A is resolving that thing.
So it's all about the agent card and all this.
Yeah, agent. Yeah, it creates agent cards, right? That's what A2A does, so that each agent shows its property and they can connect with each other. So
it's inter organization connect, like it can connect with our outer organization as well if it's allowed.
Yeah. So A2A basically it's a framework through which you can connect different agents through a single language. That's what A2A is, right?
Right.
So what my suggestion is that create on LangGraph, right? If you want, you can explore other. Just to learn A2A, you can integrate things. What if, see, right now LangGraph is best. You don't know in future what can become, right? Best. So always my recommendation is that if you have to learn a framework, learn LangGraph, parallelly learn A2A as well, so that you can learn how to integrate to different systems. Because at some places LangGraph might not be available, right? There you can use A2A to connect things.
Right.
So if you have a limited time, I will say study LangGraph, like spend 80% time in studying LangGraph, 20% time in understanding A2A, and you will be good, so that you can communicate between any kind of things. So that's what my suggestion is. Right now, this is for example, this is a framework which I created on MCP agent through LangGraph. So what it does now, that, so let me show you what it will do. Suppose I ask it a question that tell me, I'm not sure if it is tell me top 5, let's say top 10 news in finance today. Okay. So when you run this agent task, it will connect to MCP server in the backend. I will just, those who want to drop, guys, you can drop. I'm just telling you that how it works. So what is it is going to do? It is going to update things in my Postgres. I have a Postgres table. So it will take the result, update in my Postgres table. Let me show you, and put the message on Slack. So PG admin. Okay. So it is running right now. So see, it shows that connected to MCP server, and it has given me the response. So let me show you Slack first. If I go to Slack, see, it's my 1:49 a.m. If you see, no, wait a second, is it disconnected? So let me open the server, my application, query. Okay. And this is my table. Where is it? Select star from 𝗙𝗂𝗂𝗃_results. So if you see this, where is PG admin? Right. I just updated a news. So see, top, I did this, right? Top finance news today.
Yeah.
So whatever, what this LangGraph with MCP did, it fetched the latest information from internet through using a tool, and it has put in my Postgres table, and it has given me the link as well. Okay. And parallelly, I have updated that it should give me a message on Slack. I don't know why it has not come. Like earlier it was giving it. I need to check if the connection is proper. So yeah, you can see I was testing this tool earlier, right? So it was working.
It is updates on HMD, yeah.
Yeah, so maybe the connection is broken. I need to check it. But you can send updates to WhatsApp, you can send emails, and you can send a lot of things. So like what you have to do here, you have to create a MCP server, right? And then you have to create a LangGraph client. All this we will understand once you study LangGraph. But yeah, LangGraph has like it's a very powerful framework, and it's a framework which will stay. It's like, because it's built to the core. So to replace something like LangGraph, it will take something very powerful. And I don't see that happening very soon, but let's see. So that's what my recommendation is. Yeah, anyone, any question, please feel free to ask. Session is over. Any person?
MCP is like creating like a tool, like multiple tools as like a connecting to client, and it is like tool independent, right? Like which
MCP just like tool calling. It's just like tool calling which you do, right? It just happens through I'll say a standard format. Basically, that's what it does. So if you see this server that I create, MCP server, what you do here, you have to define different tools. So one tool is a web search tool. Okay, this is a web search tool. Other is a Postgres storage tool, and third is a Slack notification tool. So you create these tools, and if you know how tool calling works, right, it will pick the right tool and provide you the answer. Again, this I'll cover sometime when I teach MCP. The advantage of MCP is that MCP runs these things on its own server rather than running on the client side. That, for example, when you run something on LangGraph, it runs in the LangGraph memory. But when you run an MCP server, it runs on the server's memory. So you basically decouple your application, and its performance increases. Of course, the coding perspective, it is very easy to write and all those things. But yeah, that's for some time else. Yeah. Anyone, any question, please feel free to ask.
A2A with MCP with LangGraph, these are like a deadly combination in market.
Yeah, if you do A2A, MCP, LangGraph, you're done. You can crack any interview in today's job market.
Yeah.
Literally.
Any courses relating all three?
Sorry?
Any courses covering all three?
I have not seen. I mean, to be honest, yeah, someone is asking chat as well. I don't know, to be honest. I simply read the documentation. I try things on my own, and I learned it that way. There are courses on Udemy. There is Krishna course as well, but I have not taken them. I don't know, to be honest, right? So maybe I can check and tell you. But yeah.
Sure. Sure, sir. Thank you. Thank you for the session.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Anyone, any question, please feel free to ask.
So like understanding the theory and reading this, when ChatGPT is giving the big codes, okay, so whenever we get the problem statement, we should have to read the documentation and all, as you said, but then
Yes.
understanding the theory is easy, but like implementing that into the code, what will get that first, like user question or generation part or the reflection, it's quite confusing. It's a loop, I mean, not understand what to write, what is comes where. So in code part, it's a struggle for me.
In code part, that will, if you've written multiple applications yourself, it will come. It's more of an experience thing, I would say. For example, let's say I come to LangGraph, they have given how to build a basic chatbot, right? They have given you code. Now you need, as I mentioned, you need to visualize things first in your mind, and try to build a small chatbot first, then add small integrations to that. Like, don't sit and try to build a complex project at once. Do a small project, see what next can be done, think yourself, right before asking ChatGPT, then it will. I mean, that's all you need to do. That you need to force yourself that okay, I will not look solution from here and there, and you will try to code on your own. That is the only solution to coding, to be honest. That you try on your own, try to not look solution from here and there. First, code on your own. For everything that you do, every code that you write, you should have a reason why I'm doing this. Then, like for example, when we were building this LangGraph application, right? I parallelly created architecture as well. That what you have to do, first of all, you have to create a start, you have to create a reflection, you have to create a generate node, and then you have to create, and then you have to connect, right? So that story you need to build first. Remember, I was parallelly teaching all this story. So if you build this story in the backend, then it's very easy to write the code. That's what I will recommend. So first try
Yes.
to write down a code for this. For this, let's, like, you should know first of all how to write a single chain code. You take a prompt, pass to LLM. Okay, this is one node working. Similarly, I can write down another node. Once two nodes are running, now I can connect them. So that's, you go like line by line. That's what I think.
Okay.
Okay, anyone, any other question? If you don't have, so let's drop the session. Thanks again for attending, everyone. This video will go
Thank you.
live on YouTube. You can check it by evening. It will be uploaded. And it's fine if you didn't understand everything, even if you understood 50%, 40%, totally fine. My objective was just to tell you something like this exists. Now go and explore on your own. Okay. So,
Hi, sir. Sir,
yeah,
hello.
please. Yeah, please.
Hi, sir. Back to this side. So actually, I do wanted to know, sir, how can I enroll to your course? Like, I just had your session for the very first time, and I literally enjoyed that. So how can I go further?
See, right now, I have a Python course going on, a GenAI course. It is in the middle. So there is no point in joining that. Maybe I will start a new batch in a month approximately. But that's what I'm planning to start a MCP and LangGraph course. So you stay in the group. I will post it there. From there, you can get notification.
And so any fees idea that you can give me, like how much you charge?
Uh, for Python course, I can give you a rough idea. For Python course, which is in India right now, I charge 3,000, and for LangGraph MCP course, it will be somewhere around that only, not much.
Okay, so and so all these things you will keep posted in that group as well, right?
Yeah, yeah, everything will be. Are you added into the WhatsApp group?
Yes, sir. Actually, I somehow got added into that group.
Do one
So
thing. If
I
those who are
so
not
sorry.
added, do one thing. This is the email ID. Okay. Uh, just send me an email on this. Your WhatsApp number. I'll add it to the group.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you, sir.
So, as I mentioned about the fees, because I take live classes, so that's why it is somewhere between around three. For Python course, I'm taking 3,000, so it will be around that, not like significantly high.
So same for the MCP land graph as well, right?
So the next course that I'm going to launch will be LangGraph. Okay, LangGraph with MCP.
Okay.
Okay, so
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you,
it
sir.
will be in this range only, approximately. So
Okay, sir. Okay, I got it. Thank you, sir.
thank you.
So,
Okay.
Satvik, it will be on the announcement group, right? This all the broadcast, all this
Yeah,
information
so
will
we
be.
have a WhatsApp group, right? You can. There are multiple groups. Don't need to join multiple every group. Just stay in the community. You can check in the community. I keep posting
Sure.
whenever next course is coming. So I'm planning to start by uh, June end, right? Something like that, because I'm already running two courses right now. So
Sure.
I'll get free around that time. Then I will launch a group link. Please send me an. Okay, do one. Do one. Give me a second. Let me post the group link. Just give me a second. Anyone, any other question, please feel free to ask. I'm posting group link in the chat. Meanwhile. And apart from this, I keep posting projects. So I have posted the group link in the chat box. I keep posting projects as well. And like recently, I have posted a project on human loop, and I give a timeline of 10 to 15 days to complete that. So you can do that as well. So recently we did a project. I provided feedback on that. So those also you can do. So right, yeah. So those things I keep on organizing such events. So if you're interested, you can take part. Yes. Anyone, any other question? Please feel free to ask. I'll share this code and GitHub repository in the group description. You can take it from there. Okay, so if no one has any question, thanks again, guys, for joining. Enjoy your weekend. I hope you guys learned something. Please try to explore LangGraph, study it about a little bit more, and it will be a good thing. And I'll see you in some other session.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.